All right.
Well, you can tell that Jake is down in Midtown right now because you got all the sirens. So somebody got thrown in a chokehold somewhere, right?
Somewhere. Yeah, they're speeding down the FDR right now, chasing after someone.
Nice.
It's me.
What's great is when you have they have all of
They're looking for me.
the dignitaries in town racing back and forth up the FDR going to the United Nations, and that's all you hear all day long.
Yep. I mean, we got a great view of the East River here, but unfortunately, when rush hour hits and you got an ambulance trying to make its way through, it's like 5-10 minutes nonstop of wop, 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 wop.
People are saying run.
Run.
Jake, swallow it, man. These snarsberries taste like snarsberries. All right.
All right.
So,
you have control here, right?
All right, yeah, but the recording, I don't see that it started yet.
No, it's recording. It says it's recording on my end.
Okay, well, I clicked on start recording on my end, too, so let's see what happens.
All right, well, 2 copies.
Okay, so, all right, guys, we're going to start off with automating your business. So 2 weeks ago, we went through running an SEO company, and today we're going to get into automating it. And it's not really automating your SEO business, per se. It's really about automating any business because this is not really specific to SEO. I'm going to get into some of the tools lightly, but we're not going to be able to get into it heavily just because it's just, there's a lot, and a lot of people are going to be using different things. But it's really the mindset of getting into pushing your business into that automated funnel, regardless of what business you have. And I know that a lot of people that I've spoken to, they don't just have an SEO business. They usually have some sort of brick and mortar business or some other business as well. And it should just really kind of change your mindset because this changed my mindset a while back. I actually had a friend of mine who had read the e-book, the E-Myth, which is a book that we're going to discuss a little bit. And he just kept pushing me. He was actually a client which really kind of turned into a mentor for me as far as how to create a business and how to automate a business. And I found that it was probably one of the most life-changing things that I could have done with my business in order to really truly understand even myself, my business, and knowing how to bring things to the next level and the reasons why we want to do all of the things that we want to do. So with that being said, we are going to move forward. All right, so today's topic is how to automate a business. And the question that we need to ask ourselves is, why do we need to automate? Because it was actually one of the first questions I asked myself. It starts with this. It starts with every business starts with an exit strategy. Now, you guys know that I'm slightly long-winded, but there's usually some sort of method to my madness about why I tell a story. And there's actually a great book by Peter Gruber as far as it's called Tell to Win. You guys are looking for books, right? It's a great book to read as well. It talks about selling, but really telling stories while you sell. But Jake and I actually had gotten a call and from a gentleman that we had done we were going to do some business with, and one of the first things that he said to me, and he's really somebody I respect because the guy is ultra successful. I mean, we're talking, right, Jake? Not even 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures. We're talking somewhere in the number of like 9 to 10 figures a month that this guy is pulling in. The thing he asked me was, before we even start talking about anything, what's your exit strategy? Because if we don't have an exit strategy, I'm not even interested in moving forward. And it kind of made me stop for a second and think, like, yeah, well, what is the exit strategy? Why is it that important? So just keep that in the back of your head that you need to know before you even start your business, or let's say you've started your business, how do you get out? Is the end result selling it? Is the end result just making it run by itself and collecting the money every month? What's your end game? Because if you don't have an end game, I would really start to rethink about your structure. I have a gentleman in my house right now. He's a handyman. He's actually pulling up some carpets and redoing the hardwood floors. And I was thinking about it the other day, like, what's his end game? I mean, is he just going to work until he can't work anymore? What's this guy's end game as far as being able to do something with his business? Because his business is him. So, it kind of made me think. We're going to go into the reasons to automate. Why do we need to automate our business? And I tried to name some of the ones that just came in off the top of my head. But the first thing is obviously to make a business easier to run, right? Which is the reason why most people think that they want to automate a business. But there's actually a whole lot of other reasons. But that is one of the number one reasons, right? Like survey says, number one. The reason why you also want to automate certain portions of your business is just to free up your time. If you can free up your time and automate your business, think about how much more your business can grow. Think about how much extra free time that you'd have. The whole purpose of running a business is not to work 18 hours a day, okay? It's to, come up with a great idea that you have and be able to, like I said, create it into a system that we're going to get into shortly and free up a lot of your time to either move into a new venture or to just, use your time for your family or whatever you want to do. To obviously be more efficient. So making less mistakes is one of the reasons why we like to automate. My typing is horrific. I can type really fast, but most of my typing is hitting the delete key. I'm sure that some of you guys are like that as well. I do make a lot of mistakes, and when I make a mistake, sometimes it takes me a half hour to 45 minutes, especially like when I'm dealing with my DNS or I'm dealing with something very technical. If I make a mistake, it could take me 30 to 45 minutes trying to figure out, well, why is this not working? So one of the reasons why we want to automate is for those tasks that are very specific, that if we mess it up, it's going to take us forever to undo that. Obviously, growth. If we can automate a good portion of our business, we can bring in a lot more clients. We can expand into a lot of other different territories within our business niche. So a good portion of it is also growth. Scalable kind of falls right in with growth. That's the reason why I put them right next to one another. When I first started SEO, I realized that I kind of tapped myself out once I hit a certain amount of clients. I really couldn't, there wasn't enough time in the day for me to do anything more. And it wasn't until I realized that, if I start to automate things, I could start to scale my business, and not just my business, but all of my services in regards to my business as well. So it's really a matter of, all of these things so far: growth, scalability, and also how fast can I scale. There were times that I had to turn away clients because I couldn't turn them fast enough, and I couldn't get them on board fast enough because I just wasn't prepared for it. The next thing, getting the same results time after time. Hopefully those results are good, otherwise your system's flawed. But you want to be able to get the same results time after time. And I'm going to show you a great example of this exact reason why you want to automate things. Okay.
Yeah, that one got a little messed up there, but that's all right.
Yeah, it did, just because I think it's just the size. But
yeah, I think your screen's a little bit bigger than my screen here.
Yeah,
my laptop's not 21 inches. Am I?
I'm not 21 inches.
Yeah, me either.
And size does matter. So one of the biggest things I found in the process of automating my business was that it truly allowed me to kind of step into my own business, where sometimes I was flying by the seat of my pants and I didn't even really understand what I was doing. I was kind of like a chicken with my head cut off, just going, if I just had some more time, if I just had some more time, if I just had some more time. I'd be on the computer, my wife's talking to me, I'm yesing her to death because I just think that if I just had some more time, that I would be able to get it done. And it didn't make a difference. I could work nights, I could work weekends. If I thought I was going to grow any bit bigger, I needed more time, and that wasn't the right answer. But it allowed me to jump into my business to actually see what the hell was going on in my business. It allowed me to actually understand what my business model was when I was trying to automate it. Because I absolutely couldn't automate my business unless I knew every single step of it. Okay? It was easier for me to test things. It was easier for me to tweak things once I had some sort of an automation process going. And it really made me become very cognizant of every single tweak that I made, because I would just rewrite that right into my system again.
Now, right? Before you go to the next one, I want to interject here, because all these reasons on this page that have been listed have been modeled the same exact way in Silicon Valley and in the tech industry. We went from programmatic writing, where pretty much all the functions and classes didn't even exist. All the functions and code to make something work were on one script or a series of scripts which were included into each other, and that was called programmatic language, and that's how the first programming languages worked. And then we moved on to a system called object-oriented programming, where we have a class structure, and we pretty much were able to make everything modularized. And then we moved on to MVCs, model view controllers, where we can further abstract what's being displayed on the page from the processing language on the back end. But it's the same exact thing that we do in our business here. We've taken the same exact principles and applied them. You would take our whole program, we break it down into smaller blocks and chunks that could be repeated a lot easier. And, and that's been the evolution of coding, because it's been faster and more efficient. So that's my little 2 cents there. You guys know I'm the programmer more than the SEO, but I'm also a businessman, so I like identifying the correlations between the two.
And you know what? Actually, just a quick shout out. Jake and I, we're not really going to get into it too far, but we just wanted to thank our good friends for coming in. We had a couple of friends come in and fly in and meet us this weekend, and you guys are on. You guys were freaking awesome. Had the best weekend of my entire life. It was absolutely great. You guys were freaking dynamite, and we love you. Can't wait to keep pushing forward.
Yep.
I got Nick saying that he's got an issue with the sound. Everybody else good with the sound? Can everybody else hear everything okay? All good. All right.
Awesome. And it looks like some of the members understood what I was talking about with the evolution of programming. And yeah, it's the same exact thing you want to do for your business. There's a reason they did it, and there's a reason you should be doing it as well.
All right, so like I said, easier to test, easier to tweak, right? Once you have your software written, or if you're writing a software code, it's a lot easier to start running it and finding out where you're running into your issues. Same exact thing with systemizing your business. Hold on, Jake. Let's see. Okay. It makes your business into a product. Now, this was really what kind of came into my head when I was looking at the Handyman. And don't get me wrong, I love the Handyman. He's great, you know. Angelo is a dynamite handyman, but his business is not a product. His business is him, okay? And there's a big issue with that. When I first started my offline business, my business was me. Yeah, we created a product, but my business was definitely me. I couldn't go away. You know, I had to stay on email all the time. I remember I had gotten I'm going to date myself a little bit here, right? But the BlackBerry had just come out at the time. And I remember I was with my wife and one of my kids, my oldest guy, and we were sitting at the circus, and I'm emailing China, and I'm like, wow, how cool is this? I can actually email China from my seat at the circus. But the problem was that I was still emailing while I'm at the circus, right? I didn't remove myself from that equation at all. I just made it, you know, technology made it a little bit easier for me to be mobile. But once again, I didn't, you know, I really wasn't in the right mindset because I didn't quite understand it at the time. And it took me a while. All right, it increases the value of your business. The reason it increases the value of the business is because the business is no longer you. The business is something that can actually be sold at this point. The business is something that could potentially be franchised out, right? So once you actually have a system that's written, it actually makes your business more valuable. You know, you don't want to work, you really don't want to work in your business, right? You want to work on your business. That's what will actually help you to scale and grow and everything else. A lot of people, they don't want to work on their business because they feel as though, well, if I'm not working in my business, I'm not bringing in new business, I'm not making money. If you take that time to work on your business rather than in your business may slow down for that short period of time while you're working on it, and then it's going to be able to scale to immense proportions. So it increases the value of your business like tenfold. And it gives you that exit strategy that you're looking for. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to take that as exit strategy. As we're going to get into, you should be writing, your system should be that somebody walks into your office today, you can explain to them what your business is, you can hand them a manual or a piece of software, and they can open up a franchise location with just the information that you hand them, okay? That's how detailed your system needs to be. It takes you out of the equation, all right? And that's huge. And it took me a long time because I always thought that nobody's going to do this better than me. And I actually learned that now I just get in the way of a lot of my businesses by being there because the system was created and I get in the way because if I try to fall outside that system, it literally hurts my business and my workers tell me to go home. All right. A typical business story, all right? For those of you that read the E-Myth, I'm just going to make this really quick, all right? In the book, there was a girl named Sally. Sally loved to make pies. Her grandmother taught her how to make pies. She used to love the smell of the pies and each ingredient and being able to bake those pies. And she really loved, it was really more of the emotion that came along with baking these pies and the memories of her making these pies with her grandmother and everything else. Well, one day Sally decided that she wanted to start a business, okay? She opened up a shop. She thought it was great, found a location, swept the floors, got furniture in there. She got herself a logo. Everything was well. Everything was going well. She opened up the doors and people started to come in. And all of a sudden, Sally realized that there was a whole lot more to her business than just making pies, right? There's the accounting. There's the bookkeeping. There's the management of being able to, all of the ordering supplies and all of those logistics that go into all the different things that she makes. And there was, you know, the issue of actually making the pies and when did she need to start making the pies to make sure that they were ready for people to come in the morning and everything else. So there was a lot of different issues going on, all right? The story goes on that, you know, Sally starts to hire people. She hires a manager. The manager's doing a great job. Sally thinks that she can kind of back off her business. And for like 6 months, things are running great. And Sally's like, wow, this is what running a business should be. And that manager came in, kind of took over all of the different roles that she was trying to juggle all at the same time. And then one day, her manager left. And Sally was like, oh my gosh, I don't even realize what's going on with my own business. And it was kind of like a hard lesson for Sally to learn. She enjoyed making pies, but she really wasn't sure what she was in for when she was starting a business. And that's why when we told you about running an SEO business, if you really like doing SEO, but you don't like selling, if you really like SEO, but you really don't like working on creating a system for your company, then get a job, okay? You're not cut out for being a business owner just yet. And there are different phases in our life that we go through that at some point you may be ready, but you might not be ready right now. So it's a great book. You know, download it, listen to the Audible version, but we're going to get into some of the issues here that Sally kind of faced and that all of us will face, okay? So what are the parts of a business? Some people would say, oh, well, I have sales, I have this, I have, my accounting, and those actually aren't the different parts of the business. Those are issues within a business, but the actual parts of a business are as follows, okay? The entrepreneur is, there's 3 parts to the business, all right? There's the entrepreneur. Right, this is Gerber's book, and somebody's quoting it right now. So you have the entrepreneur. That's the person who dreams all day long, right? They've got a vision, they've got a dream, they know what they want to create. They know how they want to create it. They have that push in the future that they're constantly looking for bigger and better, and they're not happy with where they are today, but they're always living in the future. Their mindset is the future. What road are we going to go down? What's the best way for us to hit our goals? And usually once they hit those goals, they're already well ahead of that thinking of, okay, well, I hit my goal. They're already like 10 steps ahead of that, okay? What's next, what's next, what's next, all right? So think about the entrepreneur. That's the person that is really creative but always thinking in the future, all right? Then you have the manager. The manager, and one of my managers in one of my businesses, he is awesome. I mean, solid guy. Almost completely OCD. I walk by his desk, and as I'm talking to him, I move the stapler slightly, and I can see him staring at the stapler. And as soon as I pull my hand away, he'll continue having a conversation with me, and he has to put that stapler right back to where it was, because that manager, they're living in the present, okay? Everything needs to have a place. Every widget needs to have a box that's labeled for that widget. They are in some respects control freaks. They need to make sure that everything has its place, and they fight with that entrepreneur every step of the way. They like how it is right now. Okay, don't change it. I have things under control the way it is right now, and they struggle with that entrepreneur every step of the way. The last thing is the technician. Now, the technician is usually the guy that knows how to do all the work. He's the worker bee. He's the guy that knows how to do the SEO. He's the guy he's the guy or the girl that knows how to make the pie. They are just so laser focused on what they do that they think the manager's a pain in the ass because they know better. They know how to make this thing happen, but the managers keep trying to keep them in a very closed-off box and saying, nope, this is the way it has to be done. And the technician's like, listen, I know better than you. He thinks that the entrepreneur is out of his mind because the entrepreneur is constantly dreaming, and the technician's like, listen, I'm the guy here doing all the work. Now, the problem is that when you first start a business, you're usually all three of these people, okay? You're the entrepreneur, you're the manager, you're the technician. It's just you. And the problem is that a business can't scale and it can't grow if the business is just you, okay? You have to be able to balance and wrestle with all three of those because that's the only three parts of the business that actually exist. Everything else falls in underneath that, okay? But if you want to own the business, you've got to be the entrepreneur. I mean, it's really hard to get rid of the spirit of pushing forward and knowing where you want to be and knowing where you want to drive this business to, okay? You can very easily get a manager. I mean, look at Google, for instance. Google hired a CEO, It wasn't the two original creators of Google, that's the CEO. They hired a manager because they knew that that was not a strong point for them. And they wanted to continue on with their vision, all right? The technician is the guys that work at Google that are, Matt Cutts is a technician, if you will, okay? So, what's going on here when you first start your business is that you're all three of them. And then what you need to start doing is you need to start replacing one of those three. And it better not be the entrepreneur, like I said, otherwise get a job, okay? Hold on one second. I'm just going to read through a quick question. Jake, if you want to just field some of the questions that are coming in, just to see if it's something I need to stop for, okay?
Yeah, the problem is, I'll read them as they come in. They come in pretty quickly, but if I start moving my mouse, then you lose control of it. Okay. So I can't scroll up through the question log.
I'll go on to the next slide. Somebody's saying, one, what is working now? How can I improve these to bring 20% more money from the improvements? Two, what are the new features I can get to take my business 20% more? Three, how can I delegate all the things that are established so that I can work on my business and not in my business? Keep dreaming and get fresh ideas to the business. It looks like you're actually quoting the E-Myth, okay, in some respects. That's exactly, these are exactly the questions that we need to answer, okay? And we're going to get into how some of that can actually happen, and we're going to try and keep it as close to SEO as we can, all right? So let's just go through this real fast, and we're going to start to try and get into the meat and potatoes really fast, but having this mindset really is one of the most important things. So this is the reason why we're spending a little bit of time on this, okay? What's an entrepreneur? What is a manager? What is a technician? We kind of went over all of that. Entrepreneur, dreamer, thinking in the future, manager, right here, right now, slightly OCD, everything needs its place. The technician, I am the worker. I know how to do this. I know better than all of you how to do this, and you guys are just making me freaking crazy because I'm the one that has this all figured out, okay? So those really are all three that you need to know. And like I said, at the beginning, you are all three. But you need to be conscious that you're all three when you first start out. I know that I sure as hell was not, okay? So now we break into, we know that we need to start replacing parts of our business, whether it be the manager or the technician. So how do we automate ourselves? How do we even start the process? How do we even know what we need to what we even need to start with? Now, we have been doing some work with some people, and one of the guys, his first answer was, we need to outsource everything. And my first response was, well, what do we need to outsource? And his answer was everything. Well, everything is not an answer. I can't even start to try and think about outsourcing or creating a system when it's just, we need to do this, we need to automate, we need to systemize, and we need to outsource. Well, the question is, what exactly do we need to outsource? Because I can't go on, I can't try and find somebody, I can't even try and find a service to just say, I just want to outsource. Well, what? What exactly? I mean, do we need to outsource link building? Do we need to outsource reporting? What do we need to actually outsource? So the first question we need to do is, the first question is, we need to ask, what do we need to automate, all right? We need to automate everything. Yes, that is the answer. We need to automate everything. But we need to know what everything is, all right? So we have to find a starting point. And that starting point is micro steps, all right? I refer to them as micro steps. What I do is, and I'm going to tell everybody, this will help your business 400-fold. All right, you'll actually send me Christmas cards. Hopefully with your clothes on, Frank, okay? But you guys are going to send me Christmas cards after this, because I'll tell you what, I don't forget, every single day I show up to work, I don't forget my buddy who was my client, who became my mentor, to teach me how to do all of this stuff, all right? So I got a notebook, and my notebook just sits with me all day long, all right? You can probably use technology today, but I'm a little bit older school, you know, old school. You could probably find an app that could do this, even if it's a Word doc or whatever else. But you need to start with micro steps, all right? Brand new notebook, break everything down to micro steps. So tomorrow you wake up, you have yourself a brand new notebook. You start your day. I want you to start jotting down, either, like I said, in a file, in a notebook, everything, what you actually do all day long. What is every single task that you have to do all day long? And each one of those tasks should be at least a couple of pages, you know, you should leave a couple of white pages in between, all right? Because you're going to start writing down every single step of every single task that you do day in and day out. I don't know about you guys, but I used to hate doing, you know, the bullshit task over and over again every single day for each one of my clients. It just became daunting to the point that I actually started to hate SEO because of it. I was like, I'm not doing SEO. I'm like, I'm a reporting machine, you know, or, you know, I'm constantly writing emails and I actually can't even get my work done. So what I actually started to do was I started to break down everything I do into tasks. Every single day that I woke up. Now, you know, I might not do the same tasks today as I do tomorrow, which is the reason why this thing needs to be an ongoing, flowing document or you know, notes within your notebook or whatever else. Once you get every single one of those tasks down, don't even worry about which order you put them in your book. You're going to be ripping them all out of your book and you're going to be placing them into some sort of order later on. But everything comes down to micro steps, all right? So if I got to get reporting out to my clients in reference to their rankings, that's a micro step, all right? And the first part, the sub-micro step, would be, how do I collect all of my rankings? Or part of that a sub-micro step would be, how do I even input, what software am I using? How am I inputting each one of their keywords into that system? When's the date that I need to report to them by? These are all like micro subsets that you kind of do off the top of your head. But if you brought a new employee in tomorrow, you would have to sit there and watch every single thing that you do because nothing is actually written down.
Yep.
Right? You need to start detailing every single step of the way of every single thing that you do every single day.
And for your programmers out there, sorry to interject, this is exactly what I was talking about. It's classes, and then you have your methods within your classes. And that way, when you're making a change in one little small bit, or you need to reference one little small bit, you know exactly where it is and how it's done and how to do it, and it's all written down and organized for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see here. All right, so once again, what we're going to do is we're going to start identifying what each one of those tasks are that we do, and all the micro steps and all the sub-micro steps within that process, okay? So for SEO, for instance, it might be client reporting, okay? That's going to be the big task. And there's going to be micro steps, and then there's going to be sub-micro steps that fall under those tasks. So client reporting, entering in my keywords originally into whatever software I'm going to use. The second part is, how do I get those reports back? How am I going to package them up for a client? What do I need to put it within the email that I'm going to be sending out to my clients? When do I send them out? How do I get everything queued up that I know that I need to send them out? And how do I know that everything is perfectly set for me to click send? Okay, these are all the different things that you need to start taking a look at. And if you don't have them down on paper, or if you don't have them down in a document, you will never be able to even start thinking about automating your business because you don't even know the steps that you do yourself. You fly by the seat of your pants. And what this is actually going to do, it's actually going to teach you all the different aspects of your business that subconsciously you don't even think about, okay, but you have to think about. So moving forward, let me just see, okay. So what this system actually is right there, the whole concept of starting to write down every single thing that you do, okay? Writing down every single aspect of the micro niche, the sub-micro niche, all of that is what we call a soft system, okay? Now, a soft system means that, you know, there's a lot of different moving parts still. You're still, you know, tweaking things. You're still in the process of being able to put your system together. You may want to add things. You might want to take things out. You might want to be able to start streamlining your business. And this is the time where you start to do that. You start to figure out what works, what doesn't work. And that's why it's a soft system. Now, the soft system is that it's written down and it's followed by employees, okay, hence your VAs. If you don't have VAs, we're going to get into hiring VAs at some point, okay? Or a series of scripts, iMacros, bots, which we're going to get into today. And, you know, you have to put together, you're going to have like basically a bunch of different tasks that you're going to start to identify that you have to do either on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis or yearly basis for your business, all right? This is what we refer to, though, as the soft system, all right? This is the understanding your business phase, the tweaking phase, the grasping what is going on in your own business phase, okay? This is the outline for your hard system because eventually you'll move into your hard system, all right? And your hard system should be, you know, either a full written document, a full written book of guidelines of exactly how you do everything. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You know, like it's like an employee handbook, if you will, in some respects, with every single minute detail covered, okay? But it's a constant flowing document. This is something that's constantly being changed, your soft system. It only doesn't start to change until you get into your hard system, right? So, what is the hard system? It's when the micro steps are basically all threaded together. It's a software, or it's a system, or it's a program, and I don't mean like a written, you know, Jake type of program. I'm talking about it's how business, your whole business operates from A to Z with nothing left out. All right? That's when you know that you can start moving to your hard system, when your soft system is running seamlessly. Okay, here's an example. Ray Kroc, 1954. Who can tell me who Ray Kroc is? McDonald's, exactly, McDonald's. So a lot of you guys know who Ray Kroc is, but I bet you guys don't, I bet you a lot of you guys don't really know how in-depth Ray Kroc really was, and he was really the pioneer of this method. There may have been others, but Ray Kroc is the one that really came to the forefront. So Ray Kroc in 1954 came to McDonald's. They were actually, I believe they were like a shake business at the time. Okay? They really weren't even concentrating on their burgers.
That they were.
What's that?
Yes, they were.
Right. So it was Ray Kroc and his thought process. Actually, let me just go to the next screen here, just so we can all enjoy it. McDonald's. So Ray Kroc wanted to give the same experience, and you can look at companies like Pizza Hut and Domino's and everything else, and all these other chain food companies. But Ray Kroc was one of the first innovators of, I want somebody in California to have the same exact experience of a burger as it is in New York. Now, you can have the argument that McDonald's hamburgers, they suck. That's not the point. But the point is that a McDonald's hamburger in New York should be the same quality as a McDonald's hamburger in California or in China or in wherever the hell else they've opened up. It's the same exact, and in different areas, McDonald's has changed this over the year. They will add slightly different ingredients depending on the audience that they're targeting. There are certain places where they'll put mustard on their burgers where they won't do it in other places. But for the most part, the system is exactly the same. Now, Ray Kroc got so crazy. Yeah, the two brothers that he partnered with, they absolutely did. Right? Frank is right. They hated Ray Kroc for basically stealing their restaurant and turning it into a systemized way of being able to do business.
Yeah, we sort of said McDonald's started as a shake shop, but it did start as a burger shop, but the real history of it is the real McDonald's, the McDonald's today, started as a shake business, or really Ray Kroc's shake business. So, for any McDonald's fans that we offended who love the original McDonald's, no, that was an actual burger shop. But the McDonald's we all know that's known around the world globally and makes ridiculous amounts of money every single day is Ray Kroc's McDonald's. That was a shake salesman, or a shake machine salesman, I should say.
And somebody actually said, did you say quality and McDonald's hamburger in the same sentence? Yes, I said that the point was you can argue whether the burger is high quality or low quality, but it's the same. It's exactly the same experience that you'll have from one place to another. From one McDonald's to the next. Yes, absolutely. So, moving on. McDonald's, like I said, they were the pioneer of being able to create the system. Actually, I'm going to go back for a second. Do you know that in the McDonald's manual, and I know that Frank actually knows quite a bit about McDonald's and the history of McDonald's, but in their manual there is actually a procedure of how to put the toilet paper in the toilet in the bathroom. There is a procedure of how to put the toilet paper into the bathroom. They wanted to make sure that the lowest common denominator would be able to complete any tasks that they had. It was just the ultimate system building process. And once again, they didn't have automated ways to do everything, but there was an exact system of how you were going to do it, and it was going to be the same in one McDonald's as it was to another McDonald's. So, it truly is, it is a business model to take a look at and exemplify, because of the fact that, like I said, it's not automation in the way that we might think about in the computer world, as far as we have a program that does everything. But it was automated that every single employee knew exactly what their job was, and if they didn't, they had a manual to go right back to and refer, and it would tell them every minute step of their job and what their job description was, down to changing the toilet paper and exactly how to do it. So pretty interesting. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on now. What tools do you have at your disposal in order to automate? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. There are hundreds upon thousands of tools that you can use to automate your business, depending on what business and what niche and what category of business you do. All right. As far as computers, let me just give you a couple of the ones that you have at your fingertips right now that you probably have not used even 1/1000th or 1/10,000th of its actual potential. Now, Excel. Excel is probably one of the most powerful pieces of software, and if you ask me, do you know how to use Excel? My first answer would be, yeah, I know how to use Excel. I know how to use like the very basics of Excel. I have a buddy of mine who teaches Excel at the college level. I'm talking about the high college level. We're not talking about just, the local college. And he honestly says that he knows about 5% of what Excel can actually do. There are so many different ways to automate yourself if you learn how to use some of the tools that you already have at hand, and one of them is Excel. All right? Moving forward, Notepad++, and I'm going to show Jake, I'm going to have Jake show a couple of examples about Notepad++ and how you can use some macros within Notepad++ to kind of help you with some of those, aggravating, pain-in-the-ass tasks that, you might sit there and it might take you 10 or 15 minutes of your day, and you could automate out in 2 seconds, save that iMacro, and use it again every single day, day after day after day. All right? There's, once again, iMacros. Now, iMacros, and, you programmers, please don't get on me, okay? But iMacros, when I refer to iMacros, it's basically a plugin that you can use for Firefox. It's a plugin you can use for Chrome, and it helps automate some of those tasks that you might do on the web through your browser day in and day out, okay? So, what's it called? Like I said, Excel, Notepad, iMacros, Ubot. Ubot is also a great tool. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, Ubot is a piece of software. I guarantee you that you guys have had a bunch of Ubots that you bought through WSOs and everything else. But Ubots also, once again, allow you to create automated tasks, and it creates it in an exe file, which will also be able to pull stuff locally, let's say out of a text file or a spreadsheet or whatever else. use it through the U-Bot, and the U-Bot will then go out and do all sorts of different, things automated in an automated fashion for you through its internal browser and stuff like that. It's actually pretty cool. Well, no, iMacros, somebody's saying iMacros is a paid tool. U-Bot's a great tool if you know how to use it. iMacros has a free version that you can download, and that's what I actually use. Yes, iMacros also has a paid version, which will allow you to do a whole lot more.
Yeah, the paid version of iMacros actually acts a bit more like U-Bot, not in that you could have a dedicated exe to,
Yeah,
you run them all.
I think you actually can run it, a dedicated exe, but once again, I don't do that, but it allows you to pull out of spreadsheets, it allows you to pull out of all sorts of things that, the normal free iMacros really won't allow you to do. They say they will allow you, but they broke it like 2 versions ago, where like you can't go and try and pull out of spreadsheets. They screwed something up, so I know that they're going to have to screw that up. U-Bot, once again, you can program U-Bots to automate a lot of those functions as well. It is a paid program, U-Bot, but what we do is we actually go out, because we didn't decide to learn U-Bot, I actually go out there and we'll find people that will create the U-Bot exactly for us. What I'll do is I'll create an iMacro, because it's very nice and easy. I'll give the iMacro to the U-Bot programmer and actually allow them to create a U-Bot that does everything that I need it to do. All right? Win automation, same type of thing. Win automation, but also will allow you to interact a lot more with Microsoft Word products and stuff like that. Once again, great tools. All right? There's tons of other tools, plus ones that have already been built by others. There's systems out there that if you knew that you need to, if you know that if you need to start automating some of the things, you can actually buy some of those services, or you can actually create your own if nothing quite fits your needs. Okay? So let's go through a quick explanation. Then I'm going to throw in a couple of screenshots for those people that aren't familiar with iMacros. Somebody wrote in here, I love you guys, but get to the point. All right, well, this is the point, though. Okay, the point is that you need to figure out what you need to automate, then you need to figure out the tools that you need to automate them. So we're going to jump into the explanation of macros. Okay, they can automate repetitive tasks, automation for web, automation for local tasks. They can cross over between both local tasks, web, browser tasks, and everything else. The first way that you should be, the first way that I shouldn't say you should, right? Because there's no proper you should be doing this. But the first way that we start to automate things is that obviously I write down exactly every task, every micro task, every subtask. First thing I do is I have my virtual workers, I will give them videos and I will give them a PDF on what they need to do, step by step, okay? And if I don't know how to do it, I can't expect them to know how to do it. So I actually create a video, I create a PDF, and I sit down and I actually train them how to do it. I ask them for their feedback afterwards. A lot of them will, after doing it for a while, they'll actually come back and say, well, I like to do it like this, I like to do it like this. And I give them the autonomy to come back with the feedback about, I'd like to do it this way, I'd like to change this. It's a lot easier than me doing it myself, okay? And once again, it's a great way to start your soft system. And it's the fastest way to get your system automated, all right? And when I say automated, yes, somebody is doing the work, but it gets you to stop doing the work. So it's automated for you, all right? Once you have your system fully documented, then you may want a worker to start to automate these tasks. Automation simply means that you are not the one doing the work. I need to grab control. Let's see. All right. So one of the places that you can go, oh, no, I actually have that screwed up. It's not Online Jobs PHP. Man, I didn't actually take my coffee before that. What is it, Jake? It's, guys, help me out here. It is, what's his name? John Jonas's website. What is it? Online Jobs PH? Let me just make sure.
Yeah.
I actually wrote that down wrong.
Yep.
Sorry about that. Is that it? I'm going to check my browser here. Online Jobs PH. Yeah, onlinejobs.ph. All right, so I got to change that slide up. Ben, if you could just make a note for me to actually fix that up, all right? Yep, replacemyself.com, exactly. Yep, all right, so you guys got it. It actually is where we first started. Now we don't use it. We have enough people over in the Philippines, and once again, this is strictly to outsource your work to the Philippines. I find that I like the Philippines a lot in the respects that most of them are very honest, hardworking people. You know, the cost to outsource to the Philippines is minimal. I find that in the Philippines, they're not looking to steal what you're looking to do and try and recreate it themselves. Now, you might find a couple of bad apples along the way, right? We all know that. But I found that, you know, when we tried to outsource certain things to India, Malaysia, some other different countries, we ran into a couple of issues as far as, you know, people trying to take some of the stuff that we were doing and share it with other people and everything else. The biggest part of hiring a VA, and once again, this is going to be a separate training, but we don't hire a VA based on what their knowledge is. I hire a VA based on, after a quick interview with them, if I think that they can follow instructions and directions. We actually give them a little bit of a test, and we ask them to, you know, fill out a form based on the instructions that we have. And if they can do that, then that's the person that I want to work for me. I schedule a time that I want to meet them online originally, and if they meet me on time or whatever else, once again, that's a big check mark. I can't have people that are late. I can't have people that don't show up. And I understand over in the Philippines, you can't get too upset, okay, because there are lots of power outages and stuff like that. But this is a great place to start, okay? Odesk, once again, depending on what you need outsourced, all right, and depending on what work you need done, okay? We've gotten U-Bots and we've gotten wind automation tools and everything else built through freelancers, through Odesk and freelancer.com and some of the other ones, okay? Just grab control again here, Jake.
Yeah, this is not going.
Okay, so Freelancer, all right, and there's tons of other ones. If you guys don't know the freelancing sites at this point, well, fucking Google it, all right? I mean, there's a bunch of really good places that you can go. In reference to the Philippines, we actually, at one point, one of my companies that I worked for, doing their SEO, they had actually outsourced. They had like 60 people on staff. They actually had a human resource manager overseas, and like he would actually go to people's houses if they didn't show up. It was crazy stuff. But we really had a lot of experience. At one point, we were working with probably close to 80 to 100 different virtual assistants, all from the Philippines. So, you know, learning how to deal with the VA is a different topic and a different training, and we will go over that. But what I would highly suggest is start with one virtual assistant if you don't have one, okay? Usually you can pick up a virtual assistant even if you wanted to work part-time, $20, $25 a week, part-time, $50 a week, you know, for full-time, $55 a week. What you're looking for them to do is just follow your system that you've written down. So you don't need anybody with real special skills, okay, if you're doing this correct.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be passing control onto your end, so I'll just click for you.
So somebody said, are you going to cover exactly what needs to be automated? Chris, I would love to cover everything that needs to be automated, but I can tell you that every single one of your businesses, that every person that I'm talking to on this webinar right now has a different business model. They do something completely different. I can tell you the things that we automate, okay? We automate reporting, okay, to a certain extent. We automate our rank reports. We automate our DNS, you know, our DNS setups. We automate the whole system of how we build our websites are completely automated. So I can't answer for you exactly what you need to automate. And once again, you're not going to be able to answer for yourself what you need to automate until you start writing down every single task that you're required to do in order to make your clients happy and keep your clients on board. Okay? So, iMacros. You can download it at imacros.net, or if you're in Firefox, you can go ahead and you can actually grab it as an add-on, and I'm going to show it to you. We're going to bring it up on a screen share. It works with Chrome. It works with Firefox. Okay, let's go back before we go into Notepad++. Hey, Jay, can I grab control just so I can do a screen share here?
Yep. All right, so you should start sharing your screen now.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so you guys can see my screen?
Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, so let me just show you. Okay, these are my iMacros. Okay, the way I get them to open up, you click on F8. Believe it or not, the hardest part for me was for this whole thing was actually trying to figure out how to open up iMacros once it was put on as an add-on. So let me just give you an example of how.
You had no trouble learning how to program it. I was surprised.
No. You guys know that I am not a programmer at all. So they give you a bunch of demos, all right? And if somebody wants in the meantime, you can give me something like, pull up a form, throw in a URL of a form, and I'll show you how we automate certain things out. And what I'm going to do is also we're going to have a section in the form about iMacros so we can share iMacros with one another, and we can share some of the coding that we've used just to make your lives a hell of a lot easier. But we wanted to have this training before we even start pushing that stuff out to you guys, because otherwise you're going to have no clue what the hell we're talking about, right? You're going to look at an iMacro and have absolutely no clue why you need it, okay? But the goal of today really, and I should be pushing forward when somebody was saying, well, what do we need to automate? The answer is you need to automate everything. But the question is, what the hell is everything, like we were talking about before? So I'm going to share some of the iMacros I made for like Cloudflare, some of the iMacros that I made for WHM, some of the iMacros that I made for all sorts of different things that you can use that in your soft system to try and help you speed up your process of your day and all sorts of other things, okay? So let's just take this as an example. Take a screenshot. So I clicked on play. Right now, boom, the iMacro is done. It actually took a screenshot of my screen and it stored it where it needs to be. Let me do a search for, somebody have like a form that they fill out on a regular basis. I don't want to jump into Cloudflare right now because I don't want to be showing like my IP addresses. I don't have a chance to like set up a different Cloudflare account right this second and put in like a dummy IP address. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's do, we'll sign up for Gmail. I don't want to do that because I'm actually logged into my Gmail account right now. Somebody give me some sort of form that they do on a regular basis. Okay, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an iMacro because I want to search for something every single day. So what I want to search for is I want to search for SEO news, okay? And I want to see all the different things going on with SEO news every single day, period, okay? So what I would do is this. I'm going to just start with Google.com. No, actually, you know what I'm going to do? What the? Google, look at that. Okay. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to Reddit, okay?
Nice.
Jake, you're an editor on Reddit, right?
I'm a mod on our WordPress.
You're a mod. Okay, so let me just push this in real fast. So I can search on Reddit for SEO. Okay, let's say that this is what I want to do. Okay, every day I want to go to Reddit. I want to search, and I know that you could just create a bookmark to do this, but I'm just using this as an example because, like, off the top of my head, the stuff that we automate has like my usernames and passwords in it, and I really don't want to obviously share that for obvious reasons. Okay, but let's just start showing you guys how we record an iMacro, just for those that have absolutely no clue. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close this up real fast, and I'm going to go to right down here on the left-hand side. You have play, you have record, and then you have manage. All three of them obviously important for all sorts of different reasons. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to record, and every single day what I'm going to do is I am going to go to reddit.com. All right, when I get to reddit.com, when it loads, look at that, I spelled Reddit wrong. Okay, which is fine, okay? Because I can always go, we can just stop, because trust me, we do this all the time. You screw something up, no big deal, all right? What I do is I go back and I just re-record. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to reddit.com. So now I'm on Reddit. I go over here to the search box. I want to type in SEO. All right, and now it gives me all this shit for SEO. Okay, this is just an example. If I wanted to fill out a form, it's really easy to do that too. I'll show you an example, and then I'm just going to click stop. So this is a really, really, really easy map.
Well, say you wanted to post something to Reddit.
Okay, I don't normally post to Reddit, so I'm not going to be able to do that for you.
You can sign up. You can sign up for an account.
Okay, so let's just do this.
It takes literally 2 seconds.
Okay, well, let's just do this real fast, all right? Just to get an idea, we're gonna kill this. I'm gonna go back to Google for a second. And I'm gonna go to this one, which I should rename at some point. So I'm gonna rename it as, I'm just gonna rename this as Reddit. All right, so I can play it and you guys will see it will build out. Okay, I went to the wrong place, then it brought me back to Reddit. Now, if I wanted to, because I screwed that up, I could go in here and I could say, okay, you know what? I screwed that iMacro up. This is what the iMacros actually look like. So I can go in there and I could just delete that first thing. I could click save. It now saved it in my iMacro. Go to play. Now it's just going to go to Reddit and it's going to do the SEO search on Reddit. Okay? So if I wanted to, let's just take a look at some of the other demos. Let's just do extract and fill. All right, this is one that they actually have in place. So it's extracting different information from a form. It's going to input that information into a form, and boom. So I was able to extract certain information and put it back into a form. These are the things that you might do on a regular basis. If you're in Cloudflare, okay, actually I'll go to Cloudflare real fast. And I'm not going to sign into my own account because I'm not looking to get myself all jammed up. But here, we're going to sign up. My email address, I can use.
You can make a disposable one.
Okay, so let's just do SemEasy at.
Well, you might need to validate it though.
No.
Oh, you already got one?
Yeah, Mailinator might work just fine. Okay.
Yeah, but you're going to need to be able to check that account.
Yep, I can. I'm going to call it. SemEasy 212. I'm going to just make a password of. Okay, I agree. Okay, so now I have an account. So if I want to go ahead and I want to record an iMac, let's just somebody throw out a domain that they own right now. I'm trying to think of a couple of domains that I own, Jake, that I didn't do anything with.
We could just buy one.
You want to go ahead and into, you know what, I'll do that, but I don't want to go ahead and, all right, Jake, take my screen off for a second. Let me get this set up real fast.
All right. You have to do that, or I could do that.
Okay.
All right, so how's everybody doing today?
Well, Jake, grab some questions right now from anybody that might have them. Just give me about 2 seconds, and I'll be all set, ready to go again.
Yep, start scrolling through them. All right, yeah, there's one here Doug Higgins posted earlier, quote by M. Gerber, which I really like. It's most businesses are started by technicians in the middle of an entrepreneurial seizure.
Yes, that was actually a quote by him. Yeah, it is.
Yep, and it's a very factual statement. A lot of you guys, you're both technicians and entrepreneurs, and you're in the middle of an entrepreneurial seizure because you have that manager in the middle trying to make sure that everything's organized, and you're all scattered about. And perfect example of what's going on today. We should have made this account earlier. And hey, Chris Ray saying, did you guys plan this out or make up everything as you go? The answer is what?
I said, thanks, Chris.
Yep. No, I mean, this was all planned out, but this is the soft model, hard model in a perfect example. We had the idea of having all this stuff, but at the very last minute, we went, oh wait, we don't want to show all our passwords, so that's all the testing. just giving you guys a hard time not being a smart ass, LOL. Well, some people have done webinars where they've given out FTP credentials and stuff, and I've seen it, and I've been quick to screen cap it and take notes. So
yeah, that's the reason why we're being just a little bit more precautious.
Yeah, sorry for the delay, guys. Take this time to post funny stuff. So it seems like everything was pretty well understood. There's not many questions, just more comments, and I'm not going to read through a bunch of comments. How can I come spend a few weeks in New York at your office and absorb your genius? I don't know, we could do like a seminar or something at some point when we have a bit more free time.
I was talking about that with people on chat one night, that, you know, maybe we do like a mastermind, or you want to, you know, we'll find a place where everybody could jump in and show up, and we were talking about, you know, possibly spending a couple of days together, right?
Yeah,
have a project ahead of time, and actually have anybody who shows up actually work jointly on this project. We all work on the project. We all reap the benefits of the project. I thought that was something pretty cool that I really wanted to get involved with. All right, Jake, we're almost there. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad I did, because now my PayPal information would be here as well.
Well, everybody knows our PayPal anyway. The billing at some so that's not a secret. The password is then you have the password length. You can start trying to, yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so here we go.
You ready?
Yep. Give me one more second. Give me 1 second.
What was on the? Someone's asking what was on the agenda. I came late. Let me expand that. See who was asking that. FK77388, one of our free members here. So the agenda today is we're discussing how to automate your business as a whole. Not specifically SEO. This applies to every business that you're in or could be in, theorize about being in, or look at somebody and realize they're in. This applies to literally every business. And it's breaking down things into little tiny modules and figuring out the nitty-gritty details of each one of them and being able to replicate them and then pass them off either to somebody else or to a piece of software or a script you write yourself to automate all the tasks that you're doing. And what this allows you to do, and while it may seem like it's a bit of a waste of time right now, oh, it's not that hard to do this thing. I just type this in and then do this and click this button and type this thing in and then click this button and then type something else in and push enter and then, you know, go over to this other site and now my website's working. It only took 3 minutes and that's great. But when you try to scale that and try to go replicate that task over and over and over and over again as your business grows, which, you know, we saw firsthand, we quickly realized that it was eating up a lot of time that could be better located to us, you know, either getting new clients or working on things that only we could do that our other technicians couldn't. So we realized we had the potential to package everything, take note of everything we were doing, make it a replicable task, and then pass it off and pay somebody to do that instead of us. And it cost a lot less of pretty much every single hour you have in your workday is an hour you could be making money. And are you going to be spending that hour making money at, you know, $500 an hour, or are you going to be spending that time making money at $20 an hour, which is what you would pay your VA? Or not, maybe not $20 an hour, that's a lot, but you know, it's the same thing. If you calculate that you're making $300 an hour per client that you have, and you're doing 10% of your work is filling out forms and clicking, after you do, you know, 10 clients, you could potentially have another $300 coming in, or $300 an hour coming in from your workday. I could explain the math behind that, but I think it makes pretty good sense. You're pretty much removing all the, you're taking tasks that you do, that you get paid a lot for and assigning them to other people who you pay less for, so you could go and get more people to pay you more. It's making a business scalable. It's business 101. Ben, actually.
Yes.
Ben just graduated from Tulane Business School, so you should have something to add to this discussion. What?
I was dealing with your dad.
Ben was actually on the phone with a client, so that's my bad.
What were you talking about?
What were we talking about? We were talking about business scalability,
okay.
And pretty much opportunity cost and marginal cost per hour of labor.
All right.
Andrew, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. So actually, I guess we'll let Andrew take over here. But pretty much the point is to give you more free time to do more of what you need to do and pay somebody else to take care of the bullshit.
Yes,
or
that
automate
absolutely
problems.
is business 101. I mean, time is money. I mean, it comes down with work. It comes down with everything else. I mean, something as simple as doing laundry, your opportunity cost.
Yeah, well, that's a great example, doing laundry. Could you be doing laundry, or could you be making a website for a client? You're going to choose to make a website for a client, and you're going to pay somebody else to do laundry, because that 2 hours it would take you to do laundry, it costs you, what, $30? And you're making $500 in those 2 hours for a client. It's, it's business 101.
And like I said, all those other reasons that go with it, as far as you not wanting to make mistakes, being accurate, being efficient, and not having to undo something because, you put a slash in somewhere where it should have been a dash or whatever the case may be. So with that, Jake, let me grab control again.
All right, passing it back to you.
I'll just show you guys a real quick, like this is like a half-ass automation that we use for Cloudflare every once in a while that we didn't necessarily. We have a much more robust system now, but we were using macros for a long time while we were trying to figure out everything that was working. So let me just go ahead, and this is what the iMacro actually looks like, okay? And I will get into in the forums and stuff like that what variables are and all this other sort of stuff, so it's not to freak anybody out. But I use the same iMacro over and over again because I was able to do a little bit of research and figure out what a variable was, and the variable can change every single time I run the iMacro. So I'll show you what it looks like. So right off the bat, and we could write a bigger iMacro for doing all of this, okay? So that it starts from, registering the domain, going into WHM, going into cloud, doing all these things we could write, and we have. We've actually written a hard system that allows us to do all this stuff, but, our soft system was us doing it ourselves, documenting all of it, then creating the iMacros, and then kind of speeding up the process. So, for instance, I can go ahead and I'll play this right now. So I created an iMacro that pops up, and it asks me what's my domain name. So this is a domain name, tenniscourtconstructiondirect.com. It goes ahead, it fills out, okay. It's actually not working right this exact second because what I did was it said you entered 000.000.000.000, which is not a legitimate IP address. Now, we did that obviously to block out our own. But if that was a legitimate IP address, it would automatically add all of those, and then all I would need to do is go ahead and click, I've added all missing records, continue. So you could see that every single time that you came in and you just pasted a different domain in there, would automatically set up your Cloudflare. Now, the reason I didn't continue to automate it and say I clicked on all missing records was I wanted to give it a quick eyeball before I moved on.
You want to go in, actually, and replace it with an IP address, show everybody how they can edit the file and put in one that works so they can see it in action.
Yeah, you know what? I'll do... So there you go. Okay, so boom, it hit everything there. I've added the records. I continue, and now once again, the iMacro, I could have the iMacro go all the way through and keep clicking continue, continue, continue. It doesn't really matter. All right, I did it because of the fact that I just wanted to eyeball it and make sure that everything got in there properly before I added the whole thing. So now, boom, it's done. Okay. that is how that iMacro works. I wrote one for my WHM, same thing. And I'll give you guys this exact iMacro so you guys will be able to install it, right, install Cloudflare. All you'd have to do is you go to the iMacro, and this is the iMacro here, okay? All you would need to do is put in your IP address here, and save it. And that's it. It's that simple. So what we're going to be doing is I'll hand you guys out a whole bunch of the different iMacros. I'd love you guys to share some of the iMacros that you guys made to try and help automate certain portions of the business. All right? We also have certain iMacros that we make for online reputation management. It will do a search. It will take a screenshot like I was showing you before, and it stores the screenshot once a week. So we know exactly where we sit on Google for particular keywords that we're trying to push off. It all depends what you're trying to automate. So if you guys have a question about an iMacro, you need an iMacro built or whatever else, I want to get you guys to the point where you start using some of the iMacros and can start sharing them because, like I said, this will be part and parcel of you trying to automate your business and then taking all of them and being able to start threading them together so all of those nonsense tasks that you need to do can get wiped right off your plate. All right? Can everybody hear me? Somebody saying audio gone? Okay. Jake, you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Yep, all good. All right. Jake, why don't you take control? Why don't you show some people what you can do with like Notepad++?
Okay. Sure
all right.
thing.
I'm just gonna step away from the mic here for a second, and I'll be back in a minute. I need to get some water in my system.
Not a problem. All right, let's change it back to me. All right, can everybody see my screen? Yep, all good, awesome. Let's just do a search here for random zip codes. Okay, so we got a list here. We'll copy it. Let's just say it should be almost all of them. I got the GoToWebinar screen here picking up. All right, let's open up iMacros. I'm going to pause my screen for 1 minute. Not iMacros, Notepad++. Just make sure. Yeah, I got a bunch of code up here that I'm going to close out really quickly. There's actually some pretty cool code I'm working on, but it's all proprietary, and I'm not trying to share it all right this second. Eventually you'll be able to see it, but not right now. Alright, we're all good. So, got a iMacros, not iMacros, Notepad++ here, and I'm just going to paste in this list. So, we got this list here of all random stuff. Miami, Florida, random zip codes. And we need to sort through this list somehow. But at the end of each of these lists is this bit of text more, and we don't want that. You know, very easily we could go and do something simply like find replace more with nothing and replace all, and they're replaced. And this is not anything new to you guys. I'm sure you know this pretty well, but something you might not know is macros pre-recorded inside iMacros itself. So let's say you have a list provided to you by a database or something that's like, remove this. Let's do one, and this is going to be, let's say you're making a website for trying to spin out summer camps or something like that, or you have a list of something that you need to turn into Spintax. So we got summer camp, sleep, or actually let's make it even more confusing. 1, summer camp. 2, sleepaway camp. 3, sleepaway camp. 4, day camp. 5, best camp. 6, awesome camp. Alright, so imagine this list went on and on and on and on, and we could actually sort of do that with this. Alright, so we got this really long list here, and first thing we're going to want to do is remove all these numbers.
you're not going to be able to do a find replace. You know, you can do a find 1.0 space or here and replace with blank and replace all of them. Oh, didn't even find them. Not 1.0. 1 point blank and replace and all. I don't know why it's not working. It's not working. Anyway, it's not working. We have another option. We have macros. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start recording a macro. And I'm going to go and click the delete key on my keyboard twice. Or actually, what I'll first do is I'll push the home key to bring the cursor to the beginning of the line. And remember, the computer is listening to everything I do. So I'm going to push home, and then I'm going to push delete, delete, delete. Then I'm going to push the end key, which brings me to the end of the line. I'm going to insert in a pipe, and then I'm going to push the delete key. Actually, I'm going to push the down key and macro stop recording. Now I'm going to go to the start of the second line, and I'm going to run it once and see what it did. Alright, it looks like it moved it down to the next line, and it did exactly what I wanted it to do, and it started it so that I could put this into Spintax. The one thing I forgot to do, though, was remove the line, so I'm just going to start this again from the beginning. Start recording the macro. Starting at the beginning of the line, I'm going to go delete, delete, delete. Then I'm going to go to end, and push delete once more, and I'm going to stop. Let's go macro stop recording. Let's play it back. Oh wait, I forgot to put in the pipe. My bad, guys. One more time. But this is really, really simple. So starting at 1, delete, delete, delete. Go to end, put in the pipe, push delete, macro stop recording. Macro playback once. Alright, looks like it's going alright. So let's go macro playback, current macro, run a macro multiple times. And I'm going to run it until the end of the file, and it's the current recorded macro that I just did. And there we go. And something happened here. I don't know why it didn't go to the end of the file. We had 204 lines. Let's try it again from the beginning. Macro, run multiple times, run, and it did it, but it put it all on the same line and then it stopped. I'm not sure why it's doing what it's doing actually right now, but...
Yeah, but it gives you the basic idea of exactly what you can do and how much you can play with it and how much it will. And once again, once you record it, you only got to, I mean, put it this way, we had to move all of our sites, Jake, right? I mean, what a pain in the butt this was. We had to move like 2,000 websites from one host to another. So what I had to do is all I had to do is go into Cloudflare and change the IP address. And doing it manually would have taken me, it would have taken me 2 days to do this, like 9-10 hours a day. We actually wrote an iMacro, and it just scrolled through all of them while I was sitting here just watching and just making sure that it was all working. So, like I said, as you start to get pretty good with the iMacros, you'll be able to do all sorts of cool, fun things and everything else.
All right, so that was a simple example. Is there anything else for Notepad++ that you could think of?
In reference to Notepad++, I mean, it's endless. For instance, if you had a list of domains, but you know what, you couldn't open them up. So, for instance, Jake, I'm going to open up my Notepad++ real fast.
Yeah, see now, all my stuff's showing up again. Yeah, there's something going on with my iMacros because these weren't open before, and now they're all open. We could close them out. Got a bunch of stuff that would be very bad if people saw this one. Doesn't matter. I could try it again.
Alright, whatever. I'm going to have to reinstall Notepad++. Great.
Okay. So Jake, shoot it back over to me real fast. I'm going to show you something that I do on a regular basis.
Alrighty. There you go.
Okay. So for instance, this is something that like we all use on a regular basis, right? Where we have like a whole bunch of our domains sitting in Notepad++, okay? Now, what I could do if I wanted to, just using, stupid find and replace, even rather than running an iMacro, search in files, find next, all of this sort of stuff, okay? I could, in regular Notepad, you can do the same thing. Now, Notepad++ is awesome because you can run iMacros, and you can actually write an iMacro to do this, but here's another quick automated thing. I want to find .com. I want to change it to .com/WP-admin. Change all. So now what I can do is now it gives me all my WP-admin stuff. If I wanted to log into all of my blogs in one shot, okay, I can in Notepad++. If I wanted to write an iMacro that would put in the http://. Now it makes it a domain. Then I could copy all the domains. I could go over here. I could, launch my clipboard, and then it would automatically, allow me to start opening up all of my different, all of my different WordPress sites, and I could get into the admin section. Obviously, domain 1 doesn't exist, but it allows us to automate a lot of the different things, at least on, sub-micro levels, that we can then create a piece of software that will do all of it for us. But by taking all those pieces and then handing them off to whoever's going to create that that automated process for us makes it really nice and easy. So once again, that's another thing that's pretty hot. All right, Jake, I want to get back into the slides for a second. Okay. All right, so because I do want to push on. I want to get to all of your questions because I know that there's a lot of questions still building up.
Yeah, and I saw one of them was actually
Notepad++.
Go ahead.
Notepad++. That's where you can download it. UBot. We talked about UBot very briefly. I'm not a UBot programmer, but I love people that do program in UBot. They have their own forum. Once you have a bunch of your iMacros all put together, you can actually hand them off to a UBot programmer and pay them a couple of bucks, and they'll make you a UBot program that you can run as an exe. You can then hand it off to your VAs, make them really effective so they don't mess anything up at all. Not that I'm not knocking VAs because I know that I have some of mine on here watching. But it creates an exe file that can be run locally. It can pull information from a spreadsheet or a CSV file or whatever else. It allows the crossover. Same thing with Win automation. Once again, does all sorts of things, and it does it with precision accuracy because it's already there. So the real question is, there's other software out there. What are your needs? Maybe it already exists. I'll give you one example, which in SEO, we all need reporting done, right? And this is one way that we've automated a lot of our reporting. Okay, so SERPbook.com. I don't know if any of you guys that use SERPbook, but I use SERPbook for my ranking reports for some of my clients. I didn't wind up wanting to rewrite the whole thing. It didn't make sense for me. So this is built right into the process that I have one of my VAs do. They actually can add a new client with all of our keywords right into SERPbook. You can go check out SERPbook. What it will do is it will actually track all of your keywords. It will send you a daily report. You can white label all sorts of stuff for your clients, put your own logos on it. It will white label the actual report in a PDF if you want it exported out, and it will email it to you, let's say, once a week. You can give them a simple page that you can stick in an iframe in the backside of your website. So if your members, if you have like a login section for your clients where they can log into the back end of your website where they have their own little client portal area, you can stick this right into an iframe, and then they can actually see all of their rankings real time. I think SERPbook checks it once every 2 hours or something like that. So it's actually very cool. So this is one of the things that we use to help us automate our business. Now, we don't have anything as it stands right now that does absolutely everything for us. There's too many different moving parts, and there's too many things that we're constantly tweaking out, but we have different parts of the business automated. This is a huge part of automating the business. You know, it's for all of our reports and everything else. It's really a very easy solution. Somebody's asking, Andrew, with thousands of pages the sites have, how do you track them all? We actually don't track those sites. We don't track all of the landlord-style sites. It just would be too impossible, and it would be too costly and too time-consuming. It doesn't make sense for us. We build, we move, we build, we move, we build, we move. But part of our, as I explained to you guys in running an SEO business, part of our SEO strategy is that we rank our client's main website for their keywords, and this is what we use to track that. The traffic funnels, it's a different service that we use within our offering, and we don't track those keywords. You know, that's just what we do. You know of any software that can analyze and list the results from Google search? You know of any software that can analyze and list the results from Google search? That's actually what SERPbook does right here. Links, your domain, including those returned after you click on more. What I can tell you is that if you're looking for links, you know, if you're looking at that Google operator only gives you like a small little tiny sliver of how many links you have coming back to your site. Google cut that off years ago because they don't want you to basically be able to check all the links and everything else. Obviously, there's Ahrefs, there's Majestic, there's stuff like that that you can use to get those backlinks, third parties. But trying to pull that information out of Google is not really keen. They'll only show you a handful of links. But once again, yeah, Steve is saying My SEO Tools. That is one company out there that will allow you to automate a lot of the client management portion of running an SEO business.
No, someone's asking, do we just say that site colon no longer works? No, site colon works.
No, site colon works. Link colon. I'm sorry, if I said site colon, it's just site colon's always on the brain. Link colon will only show you a small percentage of those links that are actually pointing back to you. Google, like I said, Google stopped that a while back. Actually going on years, they only show you like a little sliver, a little shot of which links are pointing back to your site. Somebody says, in the spirit of automation, and I apologize if I missed something somewhere, but is there somewhere where we can automate the spinning of the Google Maps into individual pages with a macro or a WP plugin? Yeah. That automated process would be like a SERP shaker type of building. That's exactly what automation is. Otherwise, you'd be building out each one of those pages by hand.
No, you have to associate with each page some sort of data about the location data for that page. I mean, not going to blow our cover here, but there's certain things out there that we use, and there's certain things that we've developed in-house and continually develop and push, and maybe looking to push some of those forward in the future. But, you know, we could always write an extension that spins out Google Maps if that's something people are interested in. That's what we keep doing. We extend the Seme plugin.
Okay, so, all right, see what's indexed. To see what's indexed. Yeah, but a link colon, okay, it's the same person asking the question. You can use a site colon to see what's published. The link colon will not. The link colon will show you inbound links, which, like I said, once again, they don't, Google doesn't really give you a lot of that information anymore. Yes, you can use the site colon to see what's indexed versus compared to what's published, absolutely. And you can write an iMacro if you wanted to open up a new tab, do a link, site colon, open up a new tab, do a site colon for a bunch of your different sites every day to see what's going on there. You can absolutely do that. All right, Jake, I need to go back one. Okay, so the main takeaway from this, right? Learn, grow, and scale your business. That is the main takeaway from trying to automate your business. You want to learn about your business. You want to learn how to grow your business. Learn all the different little facets of your business and how to scale it. Okay? You need to document, tweak, and automate. All right? Soft system into a hard system. Control the system, not the task. So working on your business, not in your business, okay? You can always tweak those tasks, but what you should be doing is you should be tweaking that whole system as a whole and letting different people run those tasks or different pieces of software run those tasks. Now, if you write a bunch of really cool iMacros, or if you get a U-bot that's created, or if you get a window automation tool or whatever, okay, or if you sign up for, let's say, SerpBook or one of these other automated things, you can have your VA and just work that right into the system for your VA to be doing this on a daily basis, all right? So now you've just made your VA that much more effective, okay? So rather than having to hire, let's say, 10 VAs, maybe you can get away with hiring one. And once again, that's what the whole purpose is. And then eventually, maybe, you know, you can have a custom piece of software written, and if you have everything written out, documented, and already, like, all set, ready to go, the cost of getting that software done is extremely minimal, because now it's just taking every single step of what you need to do, and the person who's programming it understands all of those different steps, you know, step by step by step. All right, we're going to open up the floor for questions. I know that some of you guys thought that maybe, you know, we were going to go into, you know, this is the exact code you need to automate your business. Well, no, because every single person here has a different offering. Everybody has a different service that they offer for their business. So actually doing that is next to impossible. I can't tell you what your tasks are that you do every single day.
But if you document it and you start, you know, writing it up in the forum, I'm sure there'll be people who will come in and amend it with certain tasks that they do, and you'll start learning from each other. And I mean, certainly we'll be in there moderating and filling those in on what we do with our tasks. And, you know, if there's certain things in there that we haven't thought of before, we could integrate them into our systems and, you know, release extensions to do them. And we're...
Or like I said, you know, we can create, like I said, I've gotten pretty good. I mean, it's funny because iMacros, ask Jake. iMacros is like, Jake looks at iMacros, he's like, this isn't coding, this is, I don't know what the hell this is. It's like Spanglish. It's not really code, and it's not really...
Well, no, I mean, it is code, but it's pretty much point as you click, you know, point and click code.
Right. Right. It's not coding in the traditional sense of what most coders are used to.
But I certainly used my fair share of iMacros in my early days.
Can you put some of the resources for where to get iMacros? Sure. Okay. One of the easiest ways on where to get iMacros is, let's see, one of the easiest ways to get iMacros is if you're in Firefox or if you're in Chrome, you can go right to Add Extension and you can search for iMacros. And hold on one second. I will give you a couple of those right in the chat. Can you guys get that?
Oh.
Does everybody see that come through?
Yep, thanks.
Yep. Okay. There's another one for Chrome. Now, I wouldn't purchase, I wouldn't purchase the paid version of iMacros. I just don't think that, you know, I think it's like $500. It's like really expensive. You know, I don't need it. I don't use it. And I don't think that most people here will need it for just to automate some of the simple tasks that they do.
Yeah, I actually used iMacros for a client once. I wrote I bought the paid version because I was using it for a client. I kind of had to. Otherwise, you know, I was using it as an end-user product. Like, I used iMacros in a package, and I had to buy their developer's license in order to do that. But essentially what it did was it went out and it searched a product.
That was for me, wasn't it?
It was for one of Judah's partners. It wasn't for...
one of my associates, right.
Yep. But it went to this website called Kinray, which was a listing of all, various products in different categories, and he provided a list of SKU numbers that he was interested in. So I would have it go out and search their database and pull out different bits of information for each SKU, like the title, the description, the package size, the weight, etc.
and then I'd have that go in, fill out the Amazon import form so he could automatically list all his products based off a list of SKUs that he was provided by his, managers, who said these are good products we should, or not really his managers, his advisors saying these are products that we should be using, and he passed that list off. He's not the one running that software. He has a technician running that software. He passes the list off to the manager. Manager checks off and delegates it to one of his technicians, and they go and they run that process. And now instead of searching Kinray and typing in the manufacturer's, the MFRN or manufacturer's reference number, and pulling out all the information and copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, he just runs this one giant script with, and it literally has about 10,000 MFRNs in it at a time, and it just goes through, pulls them all in, creates an Amazon import file, and puts it into Amazon. And then I wrote another script to go in and actually find out the shipping cost, the live shipping cost of each item, so he could update Amazon pretty much every day and change the prices to reflect different shipping variations.
Okay, somebody says, if I want to list out all of the pages that are returned when searching site:/domain.com, any idea how I would do that without going through and recording each page and every SERP? Well, you could create an iMacro that would go to Google, do a site: with your domain, and then take a snapshot, and it would actually, or you could actually scrape the amount of pages found and pop it into a text file, something like that. So it would, every day you would be able to take a look and see how many pages are indexed per day. You think that's what you're asking? Because I have customers that have way more pages listed than they have published, and a few that it sounds like more of a specific issue that we can talk about. If you have more pages published, there's lots of reasons for that. There's tag pages, category pages, all sorts of stuff that would be the reasons for that. But yes, there is ways that you can automate checking every single day rather than having to sit there and type it in every single day. All right, guys, do we have any other questions? Anyone?
How would I talk to you about that? I guess the best way, just put in a support ticket. Who does Jake's hair? Nobody does my hair. I don't even do my hair. The pillow does my hair in the morning.
She's overpaid.
The pillow's overpaid.
All right. So just a couple of housekeeping things while we're moving forward. The SERP landlord beta launch. Jake, if you want to just touch base on that for a minute, just to give everybody the latest and greatest.
Yep. The SERP landlord beta launch. Okay, so we're pretty much closing out the applications. We're full. Pretty much stocked. Yeah, we're stocked. So we're going to be not accepting any more applications after, I think, what do we say, 6 tonight, our time. So that's 9 Eastern time. We're going to stop checking them.
Make it 11:59 tonight. Make it tonight, the very end tonight, Eastern Standard Time, just because there's some people that are going to maybe make it tomorrow night. Just so people catch the replay between today and tomorrow, because the replay is going to take a little while to get up.
Yeah, I guess it's only fair. So yeah, so we'll end it tomorrow night, and I just have a script running on the ticket service that just goes and filters all those requests and puts them into another folder that we've been checking, but we're not going to check that moving forward. Yeah, so pretty much everybody on that list is going to be getting a little questionnaire form to fill out, and we're going to go through all the answers and figure out who's best fit for it. And then after that, we have another list, that super secret 5-person team we're looking for, and I think we're already pretty much full on that one as well. There have been how many so far?
We're at 17.
Okay, so there's 17 on that who are interested. So yeah, we're pretty much full on that. We're gonna be selecting 5 people from that list, and that's going to be a pretty intensive form. You know, you're essentially becoming employees for us. Well, not really employees, but representatives of our service. So,
partner of our service.
And if you've already sent in a ticket for landlord beta, don't need to do it again. You're on the list.
Yep. All right.
Somebody said they missed that, Webby. What are you talking about? So anyway, we had mentioned it in the last webinar, which was the running the SEO business. We were looking for 5 hardcore salespeople that could really go out there and hit the wave, hit the ground running with something really cool, something pretty innovative, something that nobody else has ever done or thought of. I was actually on the phone with a potential client today, and they've never seen anything quite like it.
They actually want to buy it. They want to buy it spot on today.
Yeah. The problem was that some of the stuff that they were looking for was just pretty intense. So we have to sit down and just work out the pricing on that. We were expecting them to come in with one thing, and they came in and was like, okay, well, I want to do all of this. So we kind of had to put the brakes on and say, all right, well, now that we have an idea of the scope of exactly what you're looking for, now we'll have to get you a price. So yeah, they were ready to sign up within one phone call. But yes, there was a phone call made, and somebody actually had to track the person down and get in contact with them. But it was pretty cool.
Yep.
Yes, we're still looking for strong salespeople. Yes, we are.
Yep, so put in those requests for that project, and call me brother. Yep, so help.semeasy.com is where you go. Just say you're interested in the project, and
if somebody, I'm getting a couple people that says, I never heard back. It's just because Dana is going to be sending out, if you didn't get a, Dana, you're going to be putting out a little questionnaire?
Yeah, we're putting together the questionnaire for the beta and the full intensive application for the 5-person project. So, we have you all on the list. You guys are all in Excel spreadsheets, but we're not. We're just getting everything together on our end. And that's.
We have a couple of things on our end. I actually wanted to speak to a whole bunch of people and do as much pre-selling as I could to potential clients, just to find out what any of the pitfalls were as far as questions or if they had a concern that we had it all addressed. And we also want to get you guys like sales material and potentially a website and the whole 9 yards. So it's kind of cool. Yep, we love you.
Alrighty. So that about wraps it up. Floyd's jumping around here. I think he wants to go out. He's tearing apart a shoe. Floyd, come on, buddy.
Nah, that's his shoe now.
Yeah, he's kind of claimed this one. It's.
Oh no, he's claimed that pair. Then I granted him that.
All
right, we can keep him.
All right, so Floyd's got a fresh.
Hey, Gary, I just want to let you know I did get your message. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to write back to you yet. I think you have my email address. Send me an email as well because I wanted to touch base with you about a couple things. If not, I'll shoot you back a PM. Anybody else?
Yep. Got any last questions? We'll take them now. Otherwise, we're gonna about wrap this up.
Somebody asks, so how do you guys automate posting to your PBN?
No, we use them. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's because we use a combination of main WP and infinite WP, and we try to vary it up a bit, as well as a few custom things that we've developed in our end. And then we don't use our PBN for our landlord-style sites or our shaker sites. We use our PBNs for our end user, our clients.
The money side of our client.
Someone's asking cloud PBN ? Yeah, that's Frank. I know you're looking for press on that and something you could quote and comment, but. Well, we could discuss that when we have our official powwow for the world to see.
But I'll tell you what, I mean, it's got to be halfway decent. I saw that Justin Bieber was in those videos promoting it. All of those videos. I think Justin Bieber was the one promoting it. That was, yeah, it had to be Justin, right?
Yeah. Well. To that regard, I can make a comment on that. I call him Wyatt, and I think he likes to go by Wyatt as well. Wyatt has claimed that what did he claim? He claimed that the god of SEO was an affiliate of Seme, and that we were somehow paying him to make slanderous or libelous comments about his system, and that people should be reporting us, and you know that's straight up that. Excuse my language, it's fucking bullshit, because we haven't had any conversations with the god of SEO before any of this even started. He was actually he was the catalyst for us reaching out and actually wanting to talk to the god of SEO, and he seems to be interested in that as well. So we're gonna bridge that connection now. But you know, that's to Wyatt. You know, I'm gonna give an official business response, not something that I could post on some forum somewhere. You could take your comment and put it in your records with the rest of your businesses, which is pretty much essentially nothing.
Honestly, I'm not. I have nothing. I have nothing against. Our beef was never. We never had a beef with Wyatt.
No, nothing.
What we were looking to do is, if you guys received an email, and just for those of you that have no clue what the hell we're talking about, Frank actually runs a really cool SEO show. It's called the SEO Show, and Frank, you know, outside of just being a very cool, chill guy, and Byron Lee as well. Byron's super cool, chill dude, and they really know a lot about SEO. And he ran a show, and he had this guy Charles, who's he calls himself the god of SEO, and he's got a site, and he had run down a product that Wyatt had put out. And poked some holes in it just because of the fact that there were some people that had some major issues with getting de-indexed and stuff like that.
So it wasn't even that. It wasn't even that they were getting de-indexed. There was a major issue with the way it was handling. Yeah, the way it was handling the server side. You know, server side scripts, and there's vulnerabilities in the software where he could pretty much go in, or anybody with that knowledge. Yeah, there were major footprint issues. Yeah, they were using old PHP instance, and all they really had to do was go in and update it. But
so the long short of it is this. You know, we actually watched the video. We came across it, and I was concerned that there would be a lot of people jumping out on board and not really realizing. I mean, you know, that Google's looking after the PBMs, trying to figure out who they are and crush them, right? So we just put something in there because obviously the code we didn't feel was up to snuff. And we had so many people asking us recommendations about this software, and it was nothing against Wyatt himself personally. Okay, had no issue with him at all. Actually, you know, there are free softwares out there that do the same thing, but you know, there are plenty of people that put a paid version out of a free piece of software, and people jump on it and buy it, right? So whatever. That being aside, you know, we just basically put out there that, you know, that there was a major issue, and we figured that they'd fix it at some point. But the response was that they kind of like struck back towards the jugular. And then our attitude is fine. You know, we didn't really have a dog in this fight, but now we have a dog in the fight. And,
yep.
You know, that's it.
Frank, I'm not going to read your comment out loud because of a contractual obligation, but you can feel free to say it in our discussion. But yeah, yes. Alrighty.
Yeah, somebody was saying, you know, he's young, he'll learn. And you know what? Listen, I'm old and I'm learning. I mean, like I said, it was not a personal attack to him. It was just basically like, dude, if you sell it, you know, if you sell this product and this thing doesn't get fixed, then people are going to have a major, major, major issue. And people asked us our opinion. We gave it. You know, I guess we kind of stuck our necks out, but you know, that's I don't mind sticking my neck out if I know we're right. So that's it. You know.
Yep, that about wraps it up on our end. And all right, so thanks for participating. We had a pretty good turnout today. Sorry for any of those technical hiccups. Yeah.
Well, somebody's asking about the SEO show. Frank, we're going to jump on. We're going to jump on. So give me a call a little bit, and we will get you guys more information about the SEO show.
Yep, sounds great.
All right.
All righty. Talk to you guys in a bit. All right.
Awesome.
Bye.